You know we couldn't get by without doing this with the Wings too, because we have ourselves a bunch of conversations, a bunch of roster moves, and interesting things to talk about as the Wings finish off their 23-24 regular season. Take a look at this. From earlier this morning, the Red Wings have signed defenseman Shai Buium to a 3-year ELC beginning with the 2024-2025 season. Buium will report to the AHL's Grand Rapids Griffins on an ATO for the remainder of 23-24. So, this is a guy whom we have talked about before. We did just make the video going over Shai and his entire profile. In fact, interesting thing about the video that we made about Shai, this is, just some extra trivia over here, but if you wanted to see it yourself, it is right here, the NCAA double champ for the Detroit Red Wings, but again, there's a pretty good part to this entire thing because Shai Buium, not only is he a good defenseman and a good prospect to have, but I'm pretty sure when we made the video about him, he actually had his mom go out there and reply saying thank you, so that was really nice to see. I'm happy to send some love over to the Buium folks, but if you wanted to go over the report here, Shai Buium, now a part of the Grand Rapids Griffins, will be finishing off this season's worth of play with the Griffins on an ATO where he's not going to be getting any money. But starting next season in 23-24, in 24-25, that's the proper date, that's when he's going to get his NHL money. If he's able to stay in the NHL, he'll be getting a smaller salary if he sticks around in the AHL. But Shai Buium, 6'3", 220 left-handed guy, he is, of course, the older brother of Zeev Buium, who is going to be a top prospect at this year's NHL Draft. Shai had 36 points in 43 games played with the Denver Pioneers, winning the national championship for his second time. Denver has been such a good team in the NCAA. Shai Buium knows what it takes to win, and of course, being able to win a championship alongside of your brother is gotta be one of the best feelings in the world. So, for Shai, he's heading over to Grand Rapids. Great signing over here. Not surprising. Speaking about Grand Rapids defensemen, we also had ourselves the news that Zach Aston Reese and Simon Edvinsson are going to be sent over to Grand Rapids too. These guys are going to help out the run. They're going to help out the team. And if you go over to just their overall body of work in the Griffin system, I mean, it's been pretty good. Simon Edvinsson had himself 29 points in 52 games played. ZAR had 29 points as well in 59 games played. So the Griffins are getting themselves two very legit, very helpful players who are making their return after being a part of the Red Wings. So this should be a pretty good way for Grand Rapids to bolster up their roster heading into the playoffs. If the regular Wings can't make it, then hey, hopefully the Griffins are able to make some damage there. But what I also wanted to do in this video, aside from the roster moves, movements, signings, etc., what I also wanted to do was go over to the Detroit Red Wings and their overall situation. There was a post made on the Red Wings sub, 2024 Red Wings free agents, and what I wanted to do, based off of this list, was go over who stays, who goes, and how much money they should be getting. That's the key word there, should be getting. Starting out with the first name here, David Perron had himself a $4.75 million AAV cap hit, 36 years old, he's 35.8, so let's just say 36. This season he had 47 points in 76 games played. He had a really good season, all things considered, and I think for the first time in a while, David Perron actually finished a season with a team not named the St. Louis Blues, so good on him for achieving another milestone, but I'll say this, if the Red Wings decide to keep David Perron, I could honestly understand it. Like, it would make the most sense in the world. The guy plays with heart, the guy has a gritty element to his game. There's a certain attitude that the Wings display on the ice when David Perron is there, and it's very noticeable when he's not there. When he was suspended, when he was taken out of the lineup, you could see that a lot of the physical elements that the team had started to lack a little bit. So if the Wings decide to bring him back, even if it's not $4.75 million per season, I would honestly understand that. Shane Gostisbehere, of course, he was so good this season. 56 points, 81 games played. He had the amazing glove catch in the air to keep the Red Wings alive in their second last game of the season. And of course, he happens to be a very good offensively minded defenseman. Honestly, I could see the Red Wings not being able to sign him because he's priced himself out. He was so good this year at producing points and being a power play quarterback that at 30.9 years old, so let's just say 31 years old, there's very good reason for Gostisbehere to demand as much money as he can on this final contract. So who really knows if the Wings are going to be able to keep him around? Of course, it'd be preferable to do so because the Wings may need a power play quarterback if you don't think that Seider is going to be that guy. And Gostisbehere is like pure power play offensive specialist talent. So he's certainly a guy that I think the Wings should be thinking about, but if they're not able to do it, I can understand. Lucas Raymond is an RFA, so he's not really in the same conversation. The question is, how much money does he get? Because he's going to get a lot of money. We recognize that he was the most important player on the Red Wings to end off the season. Like, all the clutch goals, I think he had like 10 points in his last 5 games or whatever it was before yesterday. Raymond was so good to end off the season, bolstering up his point total to 72 points in 82 games played. That is a superstar in the making at only 22 years old. So for Raymond, you could totally understand that he gets maybe $8.5, maybe $9 million if they go 8 years, and consider the increasing of the cap as the years go on. So Raymond could demand the moon and the stars, and it would not be out of place. He is totally fine. Give the guy his money. Give him as much money as he wants because he earned it. Patrick Kane, 35.3 years old, 47 points in 50 games. He kind of tailed off towards the end of the season, but he did have the shootout winner, and he was roughly a point-per-game guy for the majority of the year. 2.75 mil is his cap hit. We have no idea if he's going to be sticking around with the team, considering the fact that, you know, he has an opportunity to maybe go on free agency and get a little bit more money elsewhere, or sign with another contender. Sign with a team that will give him the best opportunity to win the Stanley Cup in the short term. Will the Red Wings do that? Who really knows? Daniel Sprong is in a weird spot too because he's 27 years old. He had 43 points in 76 games played and 18 goals. The guy was not used a lot because he was in the lineup, out of the lineup, fourth line guy, whatever. But if you gave this guy an offensive look, he would put the puck in the back of the net every time. Is that worth $2 million on an extension for a 27-year-old? Who really knows? You can let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. But Daniel Sprong is one of those versatile guys whom, if you throw him on the bottom line and he gets a goal maybe every 2 or 3 games, you're just kind of happy with his performance. Everything else, you could debate whether or not he really is good, but he can shoot. That's kind of what he's there for. Moritz Seider is an RFA, and of course he is going to get a lot of money as well. Hard minutes, hard play style, hard points, 42 points, 82 games played. Seider was a beast this year. And you could say that he was unjustly thrown to the wolves because his overall play was pretty much hampered by everybody else around him. He had all the tough minutes, he had all the tough matchups. The team in front of him didn't really step up in the best ways throughout the season, so Seider had to do a lot of the heavy lifting. So that's a very important player. He could get $8 million as well. I mean, him and Raymond sharing the dollar amount next season, that wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. And then going over to some of the other RFAs, I mean, Jonathan Berggren is an RFA. There's no way that guy's re-signing. No way. He's going to get traded at the draft. We know this. He has wanted out for a while. He wants an NHL role. The Red Wings are not giving that to him. They're playing Austin Czarnik instead. So, yeah, Jonathan Berggren, unfortunately, pretty sure he has played some of his last moments in Detroit hockey for now. Then you have some of the other UFAs on the team. James Reimer and Christian Fischer. I mean, Fischer, I didn't really like him this season, I'm not going to lie. I think it was pretty unimpressive throughout the year. 19 points, 79 games played. I get it, that's another veteran body to add to your middle to bottom 6, but is that really the best option to keep around? Who really knows? James Reimer, 36 years old. He was okay. 904 save percentage is slightly above average. 311 goals against is pretty below average, but with the long-term body of work that Jim Reimer has put up in the NHL, you could understand why the Wings would want to keep him around if that is something they're interested in. And then the rest of these guys that are on the list, I mean, they're all like AHL caliber guys. So, yeah, I mean, the Red Wings have some names that are interesting and would probably be suitable to keep around. David Perron, Kane, Gostisbehere. In an ideal world, you probably want to see most of these guys return, but the question is for how much, and the question is, would Stevie Y actually be interested in doing that? So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Firstly, of the signing of Shai Buium, the fact that the Wings have indeed signed their NCAA double champ, the returning of ZAR and Simon Edvinsson to the AHL's Grand Rapids Griffins, and also let me know your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about all of these UFAs and RFAs to be? Perron, Gostisbehere, Raymond, Kane, Sprong, Seider, Reimer, Fisher, Berggren, and then everybody else in the AHL. Soderblom, Albert Johansson, Taro Hiroshi, Veleno. Oh yeah, he's in here too. Huh. Veleno played 80 games. Why is he listed here at the bottom? Oh, it's sorted by cap hit. That's why. Yeah, they're gonna keep Veleno. He's fine. Michael Hutchinson, Austin Zarnik. Yeah, we can save those guys for another conversation for another day. But for now, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Red Wings free agents and their roster moves. I hope you enjoyed this Vrisha 9, and bye.